right, and we have the finals. They have arrived. Trivo versus Cephalopod. So, will the previous OLS champion be able to retain the title here and win OLS number 14? Or will Trivo, a newcomer to the OLS relatively. Trivo's been in the last couple of OLSs, I believe. I'm not sure if Trivo participated in some of the earlier ones. I mean, we are on 14 now. This has been a lot. But I know Cephalopod's been kicking things around for a while. Then again, Cephalopod is basically playing in every single tournament on the face of the planet. So there's that. But Trivo from Team Sultans, going to be a good match for Cephalopod here. And vice versa. Cephalopod definitely going to give Trivo a run for his money with his deep deck. So let's see who's able to win out for OLS 14 here. The finals, Cephalopod versus Trivo. Alright, everybody, we are about to get into the game here. Gonna go ahead and head on over. Looks like they're just getting started. Cephalopod versus Trivo. Game 1, OLS number 14.
Well, Trivo is leading with Ezreal Karma, and we've seen that he picked a win in his first game. So it was so awesome to see some glimpses of the past. Not really awesome because I used to hate the deck, but as time has grown, this deck has grown on me. So I love this deck keeping other decks in check.
Yeah, no, 100%, and I'm very, very curious to see how this Ezreal Karma deck is going to do versus someone like Cephalopod. I'm sure Cephalopod very familiar with the Ezreal Karma decks of old and how to kind of deal with them. So we'll see if Trivo is able to eke out a win here. Again, we see the early Ezreal. This early Ezreal coming down on turn 3, going to start getting some serious value, getting those targets off, and already forcing out a Vengeance. Wow, that is an early Vengeance. That's crazy. Wow. And that could be denied too. Like, that's crazy. That's a little bit of a risk, I think, for Cephalopod, but just going to go for it. Doesn't want the kind of self-fulfilling prophecy that is Ezreal to get himself his own targets, and it does end up going through.
I think Trivo was considering there for just a few seconds if he wants to queue a spell and maybe signal that he has a deny but he doesn't want to use it, so he's playing the mind games from the beginning of the game.
Yeah, that's for sure. Hey, man, those mind games, it's like Trivo with the emote game, right? Everything matters. So, we'll see. Yep, looks like we are going to get a little bit of damage squeaking through here. And again, this is on the side of Cephalopod. We do have this Anivia deck. We were just mentioning earlier how we haven't really seen Cephalopod play this deck as of yet. So I'm curious to see how he pilots it, what we're going to do here. There is usually, which I guess is why I'm a little less surprised to see Vengeance come out that early from Cephalopod onto that Ezreal. There is usually always going to be a response from Cephalopod to everything that, you know, Trivo has like on the board because there's so much removal. So we'll see how Trivo is able to deal with that and if we can get anything to stick here.
Well, it is also important to mention that Cephalopod did that Vengeance so carefree because he wants his Ruinations when he needs them and his Harrowings to stick to the board, not just get denied. So getting a deny there on just a Vengeance, it was pretty good for him if we are thinking about the long run.
And looks like we're going for the stun on this Anivia. Just so that, I mean, probably just trying to avoid the attack killing the Chumpwump here. So this will give us a much better attack on our end, on the side of Trivo, just going in with everything. Should be interesting to see if Cephalopod does block something like the Chumpwump and kill the Anivia. So similar to getting an Ezreal down early on in the game, also getting something like this Anivia down on turn 6 is very important for Cephalopod and this Anivia deck in general. I play this deck myself on ladder a bit. And you want your Anivia down early. You want it to die early. And you want to be able to start getting Rekindlers going and online to get the Harrowing. And there the emote game has reared its ugly face. And Trivo already starting with the emotes.
I think Trivo is going to try and aggro his opponent down because he has the 2 ones that are going to get spawned next turn unless Cephalopod has to say something. And I think it's going to be Unspeakable or Vile Fist. And it is in fact one of those.
Yeah, And thank you, Card Gamer, for the contribution to the ASMR fund. We are 23% of the way there. As a heads up. So in 2 days, we've gotten a quarter of the way there. Probably should have set a higher goal. And looks like going in with the attack on everything. So there we go. Gonna go ahead and see if this Anivia blocks anything. If we have the Spiderling block anything. If the Anivia blocks this Tail of the Dragon, we will get the egg to pop out. I don't know if Cephalopod's going to want to go ahead and do that just yet. Might need to actually keep this Anivia around a little bit longer. And I think not offering up the trade on the Anivia is smart on the side of Trivo, because we do have 7 mana on the side of Cephalopod, so we could just see a Rekindler come down. Yep.
Yeah, and Trivo is in the commanding seat for now, and he can achieve his plan of going, let's say, and burn his opponent with the board, the wider board. He can block with the 1/1, and that's also awesome why you pinpointed that Cephalopod kept the Anivia alive. If you keep it alive, you can negate the damage, the healing from your opponent when he is spawning Dragonlings.
And what do we have? It's gonna be the Ruination. It's going to feel pretty good on the side of Cephalopod. I mean, Trivo could theoretically develop with 5 more mana, but this is Karma Ezreal. Not going to be a whole lot to develop, and I think that's what Cephalopod is recognizing. Not really a huge risk with this Ruination, and it is going to draw out the Deny on the side of Trivo. So I think that generally works out pretty good for Trivo, because we will be able to go ahead and try to get an attack in with this Ezreal at 2 out of 6 so far.
Well, also getting a little bit by a little bit the Ezreal level up as well. And you pinpointed out as well that you don't have many units as the Ezreal Karma. I think you might have just, let's say, 12. Let me just look to his deck. Yeah, he actually has only 11 units in total. I was pretty close. So it is crucial for him to maintain this board and try to get the damage over his opponent, because if he doesn't, in the long run, I think the Anivia is favored.
Yeah, I think in the super late game, the Anivia will be able to win out. I'm trying to think. I mean, there's a lot of heal too, right? Like Kindly Tavern Keeper, things of that nature. So I don't think Cephalopod's too worried about taking damage. You can always heal back up to 20 pretty easily. There's 3 Grasp, 3 Withering Wail, 3 Vile Feast, 3 Kindly Tavern Keeper. So plenty of responses there. And wow, gonna Vengeance, another Ezreal. Just getting these Ezreals off the board really fast. And it's gonna feel bad for Trivo, because we only got 1 left in deck, and we need that Ezreal to win this game. Or do we? I mean, is there a world in which we just have like a leveled up Karma late game that sticks to the field somehow? I feel like the answer is no, because of the Anivias being able to attack and basically clear the field of Trivo.
Well, if just 1 sticks, and if we get the necessary burn that we need, we might be in for a fun one, because in the old Ezreal Karma, getting 20 to 0 wasn't always a 1-man job just for Ezreal, or a 2-man job for Ezreal and Karma, because you could have done that with Karma herself if you had a lot of burn in hand.
Yeah, and it looks like Trivo is kind of trying to dig there a little bit for some sort of something to maybe another deny to avoid that Vengeance going off. But we are finally going to just go ahead and kill this Anivia. I imagine we're going to Thermo Beam this, if that's the case, after the fact. Are we going to get a glimpse? Yeah. So this has to be a Thermo, right?
Well, it has to be.
Yeah.
Especially we get rid of 1 of that glimpse, so the card draw potential is not there anymore. We just remove that one for good. Question is, does Cephalopod have the Harrowing? Because he kind of telegraphed that he wants some denies out of Trivo out, because he used double Vengeances on Ezreal, and as much as Ezreal is important as a card generator with the Mystic Shots, 7 mana is a lot to spend on it.
Yeah, and I think Cephalopod's going to want to get down maybe a couple more Rekindlers or something before we actually go ahead and throw out this Harrowing. There's a Rekindler. Yeah, it's going to go ahead and get the leveled Anivia. This means, I mean, there's already 1 in the death pool. If this one dies, there will be 2, and that's really all you're looking for to go ahead and get this this Harrowing online. You know, what feels really bad about Steel Tempest in this matchup is, like, even if you stun the Anivia, the attack itself still procs the Glacial Storm of Anivia going off. So, Steel Tempest, basically a useless card in this matchup for the most part. I mean, sure, it does give you, 2 damage if you get a leveled up Ezreal on board, but things are
The
looking
emote
rough.
game on point as well. Now imagine that Trivo gets from the karma something like the progress day. He refills the hand instantly.
Yeah.
That he cannot because the karma is leveled, obviously.
Oh.
So no cards for him. It's just a puny mystic shot, and I think that's not gonna be enough. Even if you
Yeah.
attack, you're not gonna do much.
Yeah, I think this one is just to toss this game out the window for Trivo because there is, like, the fact that Cephalopod just had the answers to the Ezreal so early on just makes it so difficult for Trivo to really do anything here. And honestly, even if those Ezreals stuck and leveled up and stayed around just a little bit longer, I'm not sure Trivo really would have been able to win this game. I just think this is a really hard matchup for Karma Ezreal, no matter what. And I don't know. I just think this was kind of a done deal from the start here. So I'm more curious to see what the second matchup is going to be after this game concludes and see if Trivo will be able to pick up a win with Karma Ezreal there. I'm also curious to see what he banned out on the side of Cephalopod.
Oh, this avalanche that just puts another nail to the coffin because you don't have really any deny. And Cephalopod trying to pick up the denies paid in the early game paid off because now there is no deny. A lot of Ezreals have been dying. Karma is dying as well. He is very much in the driver's seat, and it's just a matter of time until he kills his opponent, I think.
Yeah, unfortunately, think we are in purgatory here. We're just kind of chilling, waiting for the game to end. There's a whole lot of nothing in the hand of Trivo. This really just barely stops the bleeding for a second if we do actually manage to get rid of this Anivia and the egg. But then we can just pretty freely play a Harrowing on the side of Cephalopod, and there's really not anything that Trivo can do about it at this point.
Or if Cephalopod has it, he can play one Harrowing now and one Harrowing next turn. Who knows?
Yeah, and I think it's pretty clear that there's no deny. I mean, Cephalopod could be thinking, all right, is Trivo trying to bait me here? Is there another deny in hand that he's just been holding on to for Harrowing? But I don't think it matters because we have another Rekindler. So no matter what, we're going to have more Anivia hitting the field. Going to do some damage. I think this open attack is, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's a little short. This'll do it, though. This'll definitely do it.
Oh.
Man.
The cheeky chronicler onto the Kindler onto summoning another Anivia. That's a stack board, and there's no way he survives. I mean, he could survive with double Steel Tempest, but for how long can you survive? We've discussed this previously. The current forms of Ezreal Karma don't remove units for good rather than just stunning them.
Yeah, this again, I gotta say, I was really impressed with Karma Ezreal earlier. It seemed like it did a pretty good job getting Trivo to the finals. But this matchup versus Anivia Rekindler, it just seems terrible. It just seems like this was a lost cause from the very beginning. And Trivo, I mean, look at the disparity in resources. Like, look at Cephalopod's field. Look at Trivo's side of the field. There's a whole lot of nothing. There's nothing going on. And we're static shocking to dig. I don't really know at this point what you even try to look for. Thermo Beam is definitely not going to do anything. And yeah, there's the Shen emote. Trivo going to go ahead, hit that surrender button. And unfortunately, although the emote game is on point, the actual game was not this time around. So Trivo getting taken down there by Cephalopod. Cephalopod going to move to 1 up over Trivo. So I'm going to be curious to see what the next game ends up being and what they decide to ban. I mean, I imagine we'll see Karma Ezreal again from Trivo, but I'm curious to see what he banned on the side of Cephalopod. So Cephalopod we just saw the Anivia. There's either Tom Raka or Fiora Shen. What do you think was banned, Casman?
I think he still has the Tom Raka, to be fair, because a lot of people left it out there. It might be the same thing on this game as well, because if we're looking at Trivo's lineup, Deep has no problem in killing Tom Raka, or shouldn't have any problem. Ezreal Karma, you can just heal yourself if needed, or can just stop the axe and then kill your opponent with burn. Slower than before when you could have 22-0 the opponent, but you can still do that. And last but not the least, Trundle Aurelion Sol, big beefy units that Tom Kench Soraka doesn't really stand a chance.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of Tom Kench Soraka, so I feel like you're right. I feel like a lot of people just kind of look over the deck like, we don't have to ban that. I'm not worried about Tom Kench Soraka, right? We can play against that, no problem. So we'll see if that's going to be the case here in just a second as we wait for Trivo and Cephalopod to get into game 2 here. I imagine they're still in deck selection if it's not connecting right here. Generally, if it's going to freeze, it's at least going to connect to the game first and then freeze. So that's the determining factor there. And I have to connect after they started the game from what I've seen. Otherwise, it will freeze up. So I'll go ahead and bring it back over to us for a second. But yeah, so very excited to see this second game here. And I gotta, man, it's such a bittersweet moment for Ezreal Karma, right? Like, it did so well in the semifinals there, and now just got absolutely shoved through a wall, beat down against that Anivia deck, looking like it seemingly had no chance. So I remember I asked you earlier, is this the comeback? I think I might be eating my words already. It didn't seem like that had too good of a game there.
Well, there is still 2 games, and we have seen Cephalopod being in the same situation, 1 game down, and then making the magic comeback. So Trivo is about to start and try to get his redemption arc right here.
Yeah, no, I agree. Looking like he wanted to switch things up too, going with
the
Trundle Soul.
I mean, look at Trivo's hand. Yeah. He has ramp after ramp after ramp, and he has the Fielder Rush, so he's gonna just ramp into the Fielder Rush and potentially win the game at this point.
Yeah, this is kind of a good hand. I'm not gonna lie, like.
Kind of a good hand. We are not sure, right?
I think you forgot. You said ramp after ramp. It's more like ramp after ramp after ramp after ramp. How many ramps did you use? Because there's a lot of ramp in that hand.
you forgot to say another after.
Am I still? All right, I still need one more. Like, this is what you want with this deck. We're going to get probably another Catalyst here. All right, no, it looks like Wording Stone, so we play mana efficiently. Going to bank that 3 spell mana. And unless Cephalopod, even if Cephalopod has a Boxtopus, this Troll Chant saves the Wording Stones. So, all right, no Boxtopus yet. We could still have it.
Yeah, oh, I'm just waiting for this Fielder Rush to go down as fast as possible.
and well, I mean, Fielder Rush is going to come down fast, but we also have an early Star Spring, Castman. So this is tricky territory for Trivo. Although we do have Fielder Rush, and it's looking like we're going to get it pretty quick, probably next turn, to be honest with you. I don't know if that's going to be enough. I mean, no damage is going to be taken here, right? So, actually, Star Spring isn't... It's only going to get 1 more heal, seemingly, into next turn, so it'll be at 6. So, yeah, here we go. This is going to allow the Wording Stone to survive. We'll see if we see something like a Pale Cascade. We do have another Troll Chant, if that was a thing. So, this Wording Stone, I think, is pretty safe. We even have a Troll Scavenger that we can play down after this Wording Stone. So, things are looking really, really good for Trivo to just go ham next turn. I think we're going to... Are we going to be at 10 mana on turn 6? I think so. I think we're gonna be at 10 mana on turn 6. This is insane. Forget the I don't know why I said Troll Scavenger. Why play Troll Scavenger when you could just go ahead and play Catalyst of Aeons and have 10 mana on turn 6?
What? I don't think that is the way to go though, because you really want your Fielder Rush here.
Yeah, no, I agree. So looks like we are gonna go into next turn with, what does that make? 8 mana? No, 9 mana. I can't even keep track.
Yeah,
anymore.
It has to be 9.
9. Okay. Yeah, 9, 10, 11, 12. That will be exactly enough for Fielder Rush. And heading into getting a Fielder Rush played against you on turn 6 doesn't feel that great on the side of Cephalopod.
Well, now you also get a lot of blockers for yourself. You just get... and you also have tools to deny a bit of the pressure, because the Troll Chant is gonna do a pretty fair, decent job against the other units that are left attacking, because you obviously block the most damage in the Shepherd, block what else, and what's left, you just go for the Troll Chant.
So the dangerous thing here is if there is an Astral Protection and Trivo attacks, this Soraka suddenly becomes really dangerous as a blocker because it will take a lot of damage and just be able to heal herself back up and really accelerate that Star Spring, right? So, as much as Feel the Rush feels great, we're feeling the rush right now. It's feeling pretty awesome. Soraka does not feel awesome with an Astral Protection, so we'll see if that ends up getting played. We're just shy of this level up on the Aurelian Soul as well.
Well, if there is ever an astral protection in Cephalopod's hand, how do you ever win the game? Because at some point you're gonna need to block or you're gonna need to attack. You cannot just sit and wait.
Yeah, no, I agree. And right here, there's no Astral Protection now that we're down to 3 mana, but it looks like Trivo is just going to pass. Going to wait to go ahead and get this Trundle leveled up. I imagine trying to get this Aurelian Soul leveled up next turn as well.
Well, once Trivo gets an elusive, potentially, it's gonna be very good for him from the Celestials, because if he manages to survive until that point, it's just gonna be game over.
Well, here's the Acquired Taste going to come out onto the Troll Scavenger, which is pretty big to prevent this Aurelian Soul level up, if that's what Cephalopod is trying to do. But this Eclipse Dragon, I think, is just going to make it pretty near impossible for Cephalopod to prevent something like the level up of this Aurelian Soul, especially with Trundle now getting on over to level 2. Going to be getting a lot of attack on the next attack turn once the token swings back over to Trivo. And Eclipse Dragon going to get some value. I mean, we've been talking about this earlier in the day, all tournament, probably the last couple of weeks since it has been buffed from that 5 health to that 7 health. Man, this card just feels so good, and we're seeing it right here. Probably going to get a lot of value. Not just value, but, again, putting that 7 attack towards the level up of Aurelian Soul.
Yeah, that feels just great. And at this point, what do we really want? Because we don't need the Aurelian Soul anymore. Maybe we want something like the Infinite Mind Splitters, so you know that your opponent is not attacking with some of the units, challengers especially, because they can just kill whatever they want.
Well, and I think what's going to happen now, because I'm pretty positive Trivo will be able to eventually take home this game. The problem is we need to get a Comet from Aurelian Soul so that we can get rid of this Star Spring. And that's the issue that we're going to run into here. So whether or not we can do that is going to be the challenge this game for Trivo. And let's see if he's going to be able to do it. Right now, it feels kind of bad, too, that this Star Shepherd can actually take out this Trundle. Kind of insane when you think about it, how big something like a Star Shepherd, or in the case of the Barrier deck, I mean, we see Green Glade Caretakers get pretty big, too. So these 1-drops actually ending up being pretty impactful later on in the game.
Yeah, of course. And in this specific situation, the lack of freezes in Trivo's deck is coming to bite him, because he only has 1 copy of Harfwinds. There is no other freeze, and I think if you need to play this deck properly against some of these late control decks, you kind of need more freezes.
Alright, so what are we going to do here with Trivo? Eclipse Dragon, not really going to do too much to get that level up of the Aurelian Soul. Looks like, and again, I mean, we've said this before, Aurelian Soul level up sometimes not even a priority. It's still going to generate you that Celestial, so it's probably not really what Trivo is going for just yet. But we do need to start finding a way to get a Comet. Now, we do have a Traveler. Traveler is good. That's going to give us pretty good odds of getting a Comet. We're going to have another Celestial generated by Aurelian Soul as well going into next turn. But it is going to be crucial that we find that landmark removal here.
Well, we can also try and search and find another Aurelian Soul and just go and completely and utterly obliterate our opponent's board.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah, there is that as well. Wait, does Descend the Skies didn't get changed to like delete landmarks as well, did it?
No, he didn't. He just deal the damage. But even at that point, your opponent has no board, and you have a big Aurelian Soul already, another dragon at 7/7, and who knows what else on the board at that point.
I feel like with how massive of a spell the Skies Descend is, I feel like it should delete landmarks too. Like the animation is big, the spell is big. I feel like landmarks should also get obliterated. Like, I don't know. That's just me. That's just me.
When it comes to destroying, I guess Aurelion Sol doesn't do landmarks.
Yeah, I guess he just lets him chill, apparently. But this... Oh, wait. Actually, did he sneak in a 18, 19? No, we are just shy, it looks like, of the level up on the Aurelion Sol, unless I really can't do math. Yeah, we're 2 off right now, so...
Well, we are gonna get it potentially next turn, and then we're gonna generate 3 celestial cards. And I think what you're looking for when you're playing this type of deck and you are Trivo is getting the Living Legends with Aurelion Sol level up.
Yeah, Living Legends is going to be great here because that's almost going to well, not guarantee, but just again increase your odds of finding a comet. And yeah, we are almost definitely going to be able to level up next turn. There's only going to be 2 more heal as of now, anyways, sent towards this Star Spring, which will put it at 15. All right, well, make that 3 more heal, and that is Shakedown. One of the better cards, I feel, in the game to delete spell shields like that. Such an easy, cheap way to get rid of such an impactful ability such as Spell Shield off of this Aurelion Sol. So love to see it used like that by Cephalopod.
That also means that Cephalopod, if needed, he can just deny the level up on Aurelion Sol with a simple Hush.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, just missing something like the Comet from this Aurelion Sol. And that's a good point, Castman. I mean, Hush right now is going to shut down that Aurelion Sol level up, and the way that it interacts with it, it will just basically prevent it for the turn. It's going to have to wait until the next round end to double check for that power. I feel like we go for the Traveler here, right? We try to dig again.
Yeah, you try and get the Comet, because if you get the Comet, jackpot.
Oh, Living Legends.
Yeah, the problem is you cannot play them, and it's potentially game over this turn if Cephalopod then manages to get the last bit of heal he needs.
Yeah, I mean, well, Cephalopod doesn't have the attack token. So I guess, are we feeling that Cephalopod has a pretty reliable way to get 6 heal now? Because that's what we need to go ahead and buff up this Star Spring to a victory here. I don't know if he can... Because he already has a full field. He would just have to start replacing units with self-damaging units to actually do that, right?
I don't think you care if that's your win condition. You can just replace with units that damage themselves, and then if you have something like, let's say, Guiding Touch, you just win.
Oh, wow. Okay, so Cephalopod passed back and now actually just allowed the Aurelion Sol level up because of that, even if there is a Hush in Cephalopod's hand, which means this Living Legends is going to do some work now. Wow, I think that might have been a big deal. I wonder if Cephalopod was really expecting something else to be played by Trivo there and just reading it wrong.
At this point, he might just Hush this turn so his opponent, after he plays the Living Legends, he gets baited, and all those cards cannot be played anymore at 0 mana.
Yeah, that would feel kind of bad, not gonna lie. I wonder if... Oh, man, this is so interesting. I mean, we were talking about this earlier, kind of doing that, like, proactive Hush. There it is. So Cephalopod reading that we do need to go ahead and get that proactive Hush online. So I guess the question now is, do you just go... I feel like you actually want to get rid of this Moonsilver and the Charger before you play Living Legends, right? To just have the most chance possible of getting the Comet.
Yeah, that's exactly my thoughts. Because you have a wider range of threats as well if you decide to go on the threats route. The problem is you cannot threaten your opponent when all he needs to do is just sit back, relax, and wait until he heals the units and wins.
Yeah, now I'm trying to think of, too, like, if Cephalopod goes for an attack here, what units are we likely to be able to bump off of to take some damage? And this Traveler is a prime target, as well as this Charger. I mean, Soraka will be able to pull the Charger that has Vulnerable. One of these Boxtopuses will be able to pull the Traveler, which will deal 3 damage to a Boxtopus. And Sky's Descend is...
Wow.
Okay, that is a card. And we are playing it. And that... there's no way you buff anything up. I mean, technically, was that 15? If you added 8, even if you played 2 Astro Protections on Soraka, you need 2 Astro Protections and a Sunblessed Vigor. Actually, if he has 2 Astro Protections and a Sunblessed Vigor, he can save Soraka and win. Or he doesn't play Sunblessed Vigor, so we're good. Oh, wait, yes, he does. He plays 2 copies. Technically, he could have done that and then attacked with Soraka and got the heal.
The thing is, you might be happy in this moment seeing this guy descend, go off, but the problem is if Cephalopod manages to refill the board because he has 9 mana and get the heal off, then he just wins.
Yeah, that feels
That's
bad.
a good start towards. That's a good step towards that win condition.
Yeah, and I don't know if when you start to look at that play, not really sure if that was the right route to take or not, right? Like, should you have gone for the Living Legends and tried to have gotten that Comet this turn, or was this the right play? I mean, your opponent does have, 7 other cards in hand that aren't the Acquired Taste. Yeah, here's more damage. He would... I guess there's a good probability he can't pull this off because he has to go wide and play something like an Astral Protection. So right now we're getting 2 heal.
I think Guiding Touch just does it. It's Guiding Touch, we're getting 2 heal, came over.
Oh yeah, Guiding Touch does it here. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I don't know if that Disguised Descend was actually the right play.
At this point, we cannot revert the time back and say, oh, what if Living Legends? Oh, Astral Protection just does it. That's it.
That's going to do it. Oh, wait, that's 21 out of 22. This Fortune Croaker, I don't think there's... Wait. I was gonna say, like, wouldn't that be crazy if Kindly Tavern Keeper could heal your opponent's units? Oh, no, that wouldn't... All right, wait, does Starspring read... I'm thinking some really, really weird stuff now. I'm like, does Starspring read if you heal your allies? Or is it just allies are healed? Like, what if your opponent heals your ally? But it looks like Trivo getting taken down 2-0 there from Cephalopod in the OLS 14 finals. Pretty quick 2-0. I mean, I feel like every game leading up to that in the quarters and the semis, they were really long games. Like that first round with Cephalopod and Hot Soup was insane. All right, Cephalopod taking it. Gonna take home back-to-back OLS victories. Congratulations, Cephalopod, adding yet another trophy. Hypothetically, we don't have a trophy. If anybody would like to sponsor us, give us a trophy. I would greatly appreciate it. That would be great. But a hypothetical trophy to his collection of a crap ton of tournament trophies at this point. And good to see on the side of Cephalopod. Always doing well, always being successful here in the NA. So, but with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the entire tournament. All the stuff you need will be in the description below. If you want to go ahead and join the tournament next time, read up on the brackets for this tournament, read up on the deck list. You got all the deck lists will be in the description below as well. And as always, everybody, stay healthy, stay positive. I hope shit just works for you. And peace out.